All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig. Line that's a bit close. It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a. Oh my gosh, I look dog rough. Sorry, that's really throwing me shit. It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. It is a long time coming since I've done this. I needed to do this video, and in between the coughs and managing that, I kind of thought to myself, you know what, it's time to kind of peer my head above the parapet and to respond formally. First things first, let me do me a favor, do slap a like on this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I will always appreciate it when you guys do that. You guys were amazing over the weekend. I had a lot of subscribers, and I now know why. Big up to my brother, Lee, who got his very first trending worldwide video, where me and Lee did the watch along, and we both managed to get number 39, which is amazing for us. Amazing for us. So yes, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not proud of that. I'm really proud of that. So yeah, that was brilliant. So congratulations to Lee. And then subsequently managed to get just under 10,000 listeners for the review. And the review always causes, shall we say, controversy. But actually, largely, it was more or less, give or take a few stupid comments, respectful. So big up to you guys. Picked up over 100 subs. I am less than 100 away now from 10K, baby. So hit that subscribe button. Road to 10K is well and truly on. So yeah, so please do continue to hit that subscribe button. You can do follow me on Guna Eagle Eye on Insta, trying to grow the numbers on there as well. All right, so let's talk about this, right? Now, first things first, sometimes I have to stay off Twitter because it's just people unusually challenging me for whatever reason. And I have a particular guy on there called Matt Gunner. Loves to prod me for whatever reason. And he decided that one of the things that he wanted to see was myself and Tom Canton from the Guna Talk have a debate about Arteta in, Arteta out. Now, for me, I have no problem having this debate. I know that, you know, I do shows where not a lot of people get on with the shows that I do shows with. Those people don't often get on with, you know, Tom Canton. But I've always said, in my personal opinion, I don't let things like that affect me. I don't like to get involved in politics or anything like that. For me, unless you've done something wrong to me personally, I have no issue with you. So I was always open to the idea of a show with him, not an issue. But my kind of whole thing was, all right, so we debate Arteta in, Arteta out. And you guys let me know if you want to see that, because that might be something I look to do tomorrow, maybe for the members, especially. So I'm still thinking about that. But yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, so we do that, and then what? We kind of, you know, are we going to change each other's mind on it? So I'm kind of trying to refine the argument a little bit more, and I'm still thinking about it, but it is something I plan to get back to Tom about. And I suppose it kind of raised this whole question of why are Arsenal fans, I get why they're angry generally at the team. I get why they're angry at Nicolas Pepe. You know, I get it. What I don't understand is this aggressive, vicious nature. If you dare say anything but, well, I support Arteta in the team no matter what. You know, and I've never been on board with this kind of dictator-like, you know, you must say something positive no matter what you fucking see. You know, I've said it from the very get-go. I've been very honest. For me, one thing you'll get from me is consistency throughout. You know, I tend to assess what I see. No matter who I see it with, no matter what kind of favourites they are, I will assess what I see. And I always felt with Mikel Arteta, for me, eventually we would hit a wall because we are literally seeing a man who has no experience managing a club the size of Arsenal. That for me was always something that bothered the crap out of me. Oh, it bothered the crap out of me. It still bothers the crap out of me. Why the board, why the club would think, you know what, that's not a bad idea, Let's take this club of the size of Arsenal and give it to Mikel Arteta. Why? Because he looks good in a Gucci jacket. I don't understand. I don't understand. And I've said this before, and I say this again. For me, it is. I'm not going to flat out say it's racism, but it is suspect to say the least that you have someone like Mikel Arteta who is strongly considered for the job because he's, I don't know, worked under Pep for 10 minutes versus Patrick Vieira, who's managed 2 jobs and did what Mikel Arteta did anyway. Albeit, not as an assistant manager, as a coach. He has the experience Mikel Arteta has, plus actually has experience managing a club, plus you could argue is more of an Arsenal legend at that club. I don't really give a shit about being an Arsenal legend when it comes to manager, but all right, if that's part of your sales pitch, add that on there. So I never understood it. It was so weird. And this is where I find it really baffling, because the idea, one of the things that I will always give credit for, and I will always credit him for it, and we are seeing it come to pass right now, is Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken once said to me on my own podcast 2 years ago, he doesn't want any Arsenal legend, not only as a manager, as part of that coaching setup. Because what will happen is that eventually that coach will be linked with the top job. And if that coach gets the top job, good luck trying to get rid of him. Because this is the situation you'll have. People won't look at it objectively. I've just spent the last 15, 20 minutes, right, getting warmed up for the show. Shout out to Claude, watching the legend KC on there, right? And he's talking about the fact that Arsenal won 2 trophies. And I'm like, you see what? Let me pause that right there. See, that right there is part of the problem. That right there is part of the bro. You're a former player. You know that when they look at the CV, when they look at the CV, when they're looking back at past achievements, when they're looking back at the whole scope of the season, ain't no one talking about the fact that Arsenal won a community shield as part of the season. It's the same way that no one talks about how many Emirates Cups we win. It's the same thing. It amounts to the same thing. 2 trophies. So anyway, I watched that and I just thought to myself, that for me is the first problem. See, as Arsenal fans, we have very different expectations. Very different expectations. I mean, when you talk about the theory of being an Arsenal fan, I bet if you asked everybody in this chat room now, everybody would say, well, of course, we're a big club. We should be winning trophies. But the reality is different. The reality is different. Because if you ask someone as an Arsenal fan right now, what was your expectation of Mikel Arteta? I guarantee that would not be the answer of every single person in this chat room. Now, the reasons will vary. That we have a lot of deadwood in the club. 100% agree. But again, was this a problem that nobody knew about at the start of the season? Was this an issue that no one knew about the season before last? We always knew we had Deadwood. There's a reason why Chopping Block's a popular series, you know. There's a reason. We knew we had Deadwood. This is not a huge surprise. Oh well, you know, we've had problems in our defense, and that's the reason why you know, we're not able to challenge for titles. See, okay. You mean the same team that's bought? How many defenders are on our books at the moment? One way or another? 8, 9? And the irony is that every single transfer window, Arsenal are linked to a new centre back. Why? What is that about? How can that be? And then you think to yourself, all right, well, okay, well, maybe Mikel Arteta, you know, he needs time to get to know the players that he has around him. And maybe that's why he needs to see the closer look of a Mohamed El Nene. What, you mean someone that Mikel Arteta's played with and should know quite well? Oh, well, you know, Arsenal can't defend, so naturally they need a defender. And that's why Mikel Arteta keeps relying on the likes of David Luiz, because we don't have anything in defence. What, you mean the person like William Saliba, who they build to be what, the Mbappe of defenders, the person they kept comparing to Varane? Even if he weren't as good as all of that, are you telling me he's so bad that David Luiz, Rob Holding, Mustafi are all ahead of him in the pecking order? Meanwhile, the guy that they never built, the guy that they never sung the praises of, the guy that the only thing that they said about him was that he was 2 years younger and he was a little bit shorter in William Fofana. And then obviously ended up costing more because Saint Etienne had lost 2 of their defenders, right? That guy is the one that seemingly is amazing. But in Mikel Arteta's opinion, William Saliba is the complete opposite. He's terrible. He's this, he's that. Okay. Okay. I find that interesting, but okay. See, for me, what am I getting at? I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning the manager. And at this point, it's more than questioning the manager. You know, I'm going to ignore the fucking idiot with the hat on, but you shouldn't be looked upon. You shouldn't be looked down upon because you have the audacity to question a decision or question a tactic or be objective or, you know, wait and pump the brakes before absolutely falling in love with a manager that has no point of reference on how to improve a situation like this. You know, I've seen people suggest, and again, I hark back to Claude's show with Casey in it. By all means, do watch it after this show. One of the things he said was he needs 4 transfer windows. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, what, he needs 4 transfer windows regardless? Why? What gives you the impression that based on Mikel Arteta's previous performance as manager, that after 4 transfer windows, he'll improve it? What is a Mikel Arteta signing that you've looked at and thought, oh yeah? Other than Thomas Partey, and he almost weren't going to make him as a signing. For me, there is enough there to not just cause doubt, but to actually look at and think, you know what? I'm not sure you're good enough. And you know, the funny thing is that this is where I think it bothers people, because people don't want this idea of having of us essentially doing a nabbery with Mikel Arteta. That's what all of this is about. People seem to have this idea or this notion in their head that for some reason Mikel Arteta is going to suddenly transform this club and not only, get us out of the mess that we're in at the moment, but become this Klopp-like character. All I see is his comparisons to Liverpool and comparisons to Bayern Munich. And these comparisons, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. And I'm like, why? Why are these comparisons why do they even exist? Again, what makes you think? What point of reference makes you think that he will be able to do that stuff? I'm sorry, other than passing badges, there is no point of reference. Now, the point of reference that people be screaming in the chat and screaming in the comments is, oh, well, he won an FA Cup. Cool. And as I always tell you, and I said this at the time for a reason. I said congratulations to him, right? I said winning a trophy in your first 6 months is by no mean feat, right? I'm not talking about no flipping charity shield right now. I'm talking about the FA Cup, right? Like, there's no mean feat. Let's see how he kicks on, because anyone can go on a run. Without being disrespectful, Birmingham City beat us in the final, and won a trophy. Wigan has won the FA Cup before. Portsmouth have won an FA Cup before. And that's not to belittle the achievement, but it just goes to show you that anyone in a cup competition has the potential to go on and win it. That doesn't tell me nothing. It tells me, all right, you show some resilience to go on a run. You show some quality and some toughness to beat Chelsea and Liverpool, who, let's not get it twisted, they would have wanted to win that competition just like us. So it shouldn't be sniffed at. But then after that's been achieved, it's about whether you relax on those laurels. And for me, not only of the players, yes, the players deserve blame as well. Not only the players relaxed on those laurels, I think the manager has as well. I mean, the manager has felt has tasted his swagger. I think he kind of thinks like he's more ahead of the game than he actually is. For me, like I keep saying it, I don't hate Mikel Arteta. I don't. Who the heck ain't taking that Arsenal job? I'd take it tomorrow. Because, I'd be deluded enough to think that I have all these grand ideas of what I feel needs to be done in order to get it done. But at the moment, I'm seeing a guy who is making the same type of mistakes and not learning from them. Yesterday, he finally learned that, maybe we should not play 5 at the back to Leeds, because otherwise all you're going to do is encourage them going forward. Now, what we learned from Leeds is actually, regardless of what shape you put out there, they're going to push you and go back. And obviously, Pepe being sent off didn't help matters either. But what actually I found interesting in the game was the fact that people were saying, oh, well, at least didn't go on and batter us, and we eked out a draw. This is the other thing Arsenal fans do, which I hate. I hate it. Because of circumstance, they'll take a win out of that. Mark my words, there was nothing that Mikel Arteta did from a tactical perspective where Leeds weren't able to win that game. It was poor finishing. I said that at the start, by the end of that game, it was poor finishing. Poor finishing was the reason Leeds didn't win that game. But if you want to take solace in it, if you want to say, oh, well, at least we didn't lose to Leeds away from home. If that is the name of the game, all right, cool. All right. Because that's the other bar that Arsenal fans like saying, oh, well, that could be the difference between fifth place and fourth place. Come on, Van Dijk. Come on. That was a big favourite of the Prat of the Hats. Big favourite. That could be the difference, and it never ever has been. It never ever has been. Why do I make this video? I think as Arsenal fans, we need to grow the fuck up a little bit. We do need to grow the fuck up a little bit. Because, I've seen Arsenal fans in particular. I know that, and I've said this to him before, and he won't mind me saying this again. I know that Lee, for example, is a polarizing character. So I won't even use him as the example. But I've seen other people, say your Claudes, your Kenny Kens, people like that, getting attacked because they dare to question the notion that maybe this Arteta kid is not the be-all and end-all of this answer, of this quandary that is how to make Arsenal successful. I don't believe that, Arteta is we should just be giving him a minimal amount of time, a minimal amount of transfer windows to get it right. Now, believe me when I say this, I've said this to you before. As far as the board are concerned, they are all in with Mikel Arteta. I think you are deluded if you think that they're going to sack him anytime soon. Believe me, I'm not the guy to be deluded. I am very, very self-aware in that circumstance. Having said that, this is what will always stop us from being successful. It's not so much the spending money. Yeah, I think that has an effect. And I love my brother Turkish. He really puts the blame fully on Stan. I do too, but for different reasons. You see, for me, we're not ruthless enough to make the decisions we need to make in order to get our success. And I've said this as HR before. Sometimes there'll be someone that starts their job pretty well, and they are best intentioned, and maybe perhaps in the first 6 months of their probation they pass it, and in the next 6 months to a year they become a problem. As HR, I've managed that problem out of the business before. What am I suggesting? Is Mikel Arteta that? All I'm suggesting is that we've seen a manager win a trophy within the first 6 months of their deal. They've gone on to make quite the impression. Whether you want to put that positively or negatively, but since then, they have fallen out with star players, sold on star players, loaned out star players, fallen out and benched and basically blanked star players. All of this in the space of a year. We've given him time to be able to do that. Apparently, he was ready to do all of that, but he needs more time to put the stamp on his team. To me, this is a man that's put a stamp on his team. Again, for better or worse, this is a man who clearly demands stuff from that team, as he well should, but it's not transpiring on that pitch. That, to me, is why I tapped out on Emery in the end. That's why I do tease Lee, because, yes, I do think that whilst I think Emery is the better manager, I do think he romanticizes too much about what happened with Unai Emery. I think from my perspective, Unai Emery, I said this at the time, I think that guy will be a very good Spanish coach, because the one thing he'll have in his favor is he can speak the language. Communication is key when you're managing. If you can't communicate to the players, you are a problem. But you know what's also key? Man management. Sorry, ladies, but person management, if you want to be 2020 about it. You got to be able to handle situations. I never thought Guendouzi was the most quality player in the world. I've said this to you before. I'll say it again. What did that brother actually do wrong? Like, what did he do that was that bad? I never understood it. I can get that he had constant issues. There were, from my understanding, from the balloon gates to I think there was two Abu Dhabi incidents, and then obviously the Brighton incident, right? They probably thought to themselves, all right, what the fuck? But are you telling me that you would sell on the player because of that? I wouldn't have. But all right, you give him the benefit of the doubt, he does it. The Mesut Ozil thing, I actually have more sympathy for him because I don't think that's his decision. I don't. I mean, that's a club decision in which he has taken full responsibility for. Because it's weird that, prior to the pandemic, he was playing week in, week out, and actually Mesut weren't playing that badly. And then as soon as the break comes in and we come back from the break, Mesut's nowhere to be seen. It's like the club discovered a clause or something. We're like, whoa, pump the brakes on that. Let's not play him again. So I have more sympathy with the Mesut thing than perhaps in other areas of the game where he's had to make decisions. But then there are other things like, I'll be honest, you're right. You guys will probably have sensed this before. The William Saliba thing pisses me. Every time I think about it, it pisses me off. It pisses me off because I just don't understand what has happened there. The Willian thing, I don't understand what has happened there. The Pepe thing, I don't understand what has happened there. Mind you, you notice, as of yet, I've still not come to probably one of the biggest problems, which was the Deadwood. We knew what the heck we had to do. We knew. Suddenly we're hearing stories that people are getting fired left, right, and centre. There's restructures happening left, right, and centre. The man is having more influence behind the scenes than we initially thought, and yet nothing is happening. And again, once again, I don't hate Arteta for that. I understand that he doesn't have experience, but all the more reason as to why the fuck is he? Why is he the HNIC of the damn club? Why? For me, if you were going to do this and you were going to follow this route, whether it's Jose, whether it's Rafa, you guys know is still my guy that I would have picked to sort this initial issue out before you then go for your younger coach, right? You go and employ that guy, and then when you're decided what vision you have for this club, at least the club is in a position then where you could say, all right, cool, I've got them back to the Champions League now. Here's whatever you decide to do now to kick on and be Premier League champs. You go ahead and do that. But then I know what people will say. Oh, but Chig, sometimes these things take time. But actually what we've seen is much more often than not, they don't. Why is it that we are the only team that uses words like transition and process, and it takes time, and top four is a trophy? We are always the ones that do this as fans and as a team and as a manager. It's like it gives us solace to be able to say, oh, well, this is the reason that we're not winning stuff because of X and because of Y and because this happens and that happens. And you've got to make sure that this happens before that one. And you've got to build this structure before that structure. And you've got to do this before that. And you've got to win the top four in order to get to the chat. No, you don't fucking need to do all that stuff. You don't need to do all that stuff. We're proving that you don't need to do all that stuff. It's been proven, it's been shown that you don't need to do all that stuff. Leicester have shown you don't need to do all that stuff. They've shown it. Look at Spurs right now. It's making me sick. It's making me sick. Every time, I'll be honest with you, you know the thing that hurt me the most on Saturday? It wasn't so much the draw. It was looking at that fucking table. And we weren't even in the top half of that table. And then you look up and you see fucking Spurs are top. That should hurt the heart of every Arsenal fan. That should hurt the heart of every Arsenal fan. It should. To say, and I know, again, I know what people are going to say, but Chig, how can you do anything without a process? Do you know what you just do? You just do. You just do the things that you're supposed to do. You know, I don't say to myself, oh, well, because I have ambitions to be a HR director, then I have to do X, and before I do X, I have to do Y, and before I do Y, I have to make sure that I eat eggs, and before I eat eggs, I have to make sure I do this, and before I do this, I have to make sure I do 10 push-ups. You know what I just do? I just do. I live life. I try, believe it or not, and despite the way I look, I try to be healthier. I try to have a finer, I try to read more. I try to do things, not necessarily because I have ambition, I just do. As a club, you know that you have deadwood. It's the favorite excuse of Mikel Arteta's followers at the moment. Oh, we have a lot of deadwood. We have a lot of deadwood. We've been saying that for 5 years. You just do. It shouldn't be a process. It's not about a process. You should just be doing these things. The idea that we've had, the summer that we've had, right? Let's think about this in a process sort of way then, right? Just let's think about this as a process. For all those people that are insistent that, it's arrogant to not look at it as a process. It's just arrogant. Okay, cool. So for me, a process or a strategy would have been to say to ourselves, all right, cool. We're in a pandemic. We've got 2 players who are important to the team that we need to sign deals for, right? So if we can get them signed up to deals, we know what sort of money we have to play with in the summer. And lo and behold, we have a pandemic where it's not like anyone can travel anywhere. All we got is freaking time. Why not have phone calls with these guys? What is it you want? What is it you're looking for? Do you see yourself as part of the club? I refuse to believe, maybe in Aubameyang's case, maybe, but I refuse to believe that any player goes into a negotiation and says to themselves, you know what, I'm going to wait deliberately until July or August to sign a deal. Now, in Aubameyang's case, maybe he might. Given the age that he is, he may want to explore as many options as possible before then asking Arsenal for $375 a week. Quite frankly, I respect the strategy. So I don't hate it. I don't hate on it. I totally get it. Are you telling me the Bukayo Saka one can't have been a quick discussion? You're on $5,000, G. What is it you're actually looking for? Prospects of the team, playing in the position, cool, we could do all that. We can bring me through like that. What is it you're actually looking for? Make use of the time that we had so that you can focus your process, your strategy, and I'm using these words, for the summer, for getting out deadwood, for bringing in targets. For me, I don't understand what the problem is. As Seth wants to remind me, I'm a nobody, but I get that. That's a simple strategy, is that not? It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. anyone who's not hurt by that table, by that Premier League table right now, is not a gooner. I know Chelsea fans are vexed Spurs is top, even momentarily. They're vexed because it don't look right. It don't even look right. It don't look right. Even my mum was saying to me the other day. She calls me and goes, "It don't even look right." Like, the way she put it is, it just gave her the itch. Just gave her itches. It made her face itch. It don't even look right. Seeing them fuckers top. But more than that, we're not even in the top half. But people want to tell me that I need to believe in a process that we've supposedly been in since 2007. And I think that's the thing that hurts the most. Because even if you wanted to say Man City have oil money, and United have United money, and Chelsea have Abramovich money, all right, cool. Even if you then wanted to use Liverpool as your sample of what should be done, all right, cool. Why are Spurs fucking top right now? Just tell me. This is the same team that spent more money on their stadium during a time when all people used to run their mouth telling me was, oh, well, Wenger can't compete because he's paying for a stadium and that's the main reason. They're paying for a fucking stadium that's more. But people want to tell me, oh, but that was a transitional process. That was the transition. In today's day and age, it's not about the transition now. It's more about the process. What was Leicester's excuse? Why is it we've not finished in the top four? Surely a process should mean progress. That's the thing I don't understand. Surely a process should mean progress. Process in order to get to an endpoint that demonstrates progress. Can somebody tell me, as we sat in 11th, where the fucking progress is? Where is the progress? But then people tell me I'm overreacting, Chig. I'm this, I'm that. For me, I am a logical motherfucker. Don't tell me that I'm acting like X person. Don't tell me like, Chig, you're not being reasonable. Don't tell me, Chig, you've changed. Just tell me where the fucking progress is. Don't even tell me what it is. Just tell me where the progress is. Don't tell me what the process is. Tell me where the progress is, and I'll get on board. I'll be the first to jump on board because I'm a reasonable motherfucker and I want my team to do well. Just tell me where the progress is. Instead, every single week that passes, I'm more. I don't know about you lot. I'm more numb to this team than I've ever been before. I'm just more numb to it. It's like I'm caring less and less and less. Instead, I'm caring more about idiots making stupid comments that can't sell fucking caps than this fucking team. Or people telling me, oh, well, Chig, you know, I love your videos, but when you're with Lee and it's like you changed, just tell me something real. I'm a logical guy. You tell me where we've made progress, I'll jump on board. Because I see a team that is regressing. I see a team that is not showing any progress at all. So for those people in my chat right now who are making little snide comments as per usual, and that person in particular knows who he's talking about, you tell me a logical thing. You supposedly know me. You tell me exactly when it is that we've made progress over the course of this season. and then I will jump on board. You won't hear another fucking negative thing out of me. Naftali, thank you for your donation. I'm with you, my bro. Spuds, where they are because they have a winning manager. Our last player with that mentality was Alexis, an RVP before him, and build on Arteta. Well said, very well said. And I think, and apologies if I have missed any donation. I'm just in full fucking flow. I'm sick of this idea, of this notion that because I dare to question, I dare to dream, if you like, that makes me a fake Arsenal fan. I don't understand that. Are we sheep? Is this some sort of dictatorship? Is this? Arsenal have a lot of problems, and I get it. Nothing is going to be solved overnight. But in my personal opinion, and by the way, I was never shy with that opinion, Arteta was the wrong appointment in the first place. So upon doing that and realizing it's not working out, you don't just say, oh, well, it's not working out, but I'm going to continue giving him, another year or another 2 years. If in your heart of heart, you don't believe he'll improve, there is no point of reference that he'll improve, that he's continuing to make the same mistakes, that he's not learning from those mistakes. And this is me just speaking as HR. These are the things I will tick off. If you're asking me, if a manager says to me, listen, this person passed their probation, but they're making no progress since, and we don't seem to be doing much else since, right? These are the things I will start asking them. Are they learning from their mistakes? Are they continuing making mistakes? What is it that you've told them? What feedback have you given them? What resources have you given them in order to be able to help them progress? And if ultimately, at the end of the day, they are not giving me the answers that I'm looking for, then you know what? There is nothing wrong with saying, do you know what? Maybe it might be best to cut loose. However, there is options out there that we'll be able to bring in that be able to get you that success. That's just ruthlessness. For me, very simple. 10 months, 10 years, 6 years, 8 years. At the end of the day, if there are other options out there, go and get them. Go and get them. Go and get a Rafa. Go and get a go. Don't tell me that there are not other managers out there. Do you know what? At this point, even though I fell out with fucking Colin over it, go and get a damn Poch. Heck, go and get him. At least Poch has been a manager. At least he's been a manager. Go and get him. That to me is the end game. The end game should always be Arsenal winning. Full stop. Not Arsenal not making progress and then people questioning why I dare question. I will once again move towards ending this show by saying I'm a logical guy. I'm a logical guy. I won't just say things for effect. And if you really believe I'm that guy, you don't fucking know me. But for me, I saw something in the game 2 weeks ago that I saw against Palace at home with Emery. And that was a team that weren't playing for the manager, that weren't reacting to the manager. And then I hark back to the fact that I didn't think he was suitable in the first place. Now with Emery, I didn't think he was ideal, but at the end of the day, he was a manager, so I was happy. I think sometimes you know, and this might not be necessarily be the best example to use because people do this a lot, but I'm going to use it anyway. If you've been in a marriage and it's clearly not working, you don't wait and wait and wait and wait and put yourself through it. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and say, shit, my bad. Get an annulment. Yes, sometimes there may be a point where you fight for your marriage. You might sit there and say, what are you talking about, Chig? You fight for your marriage. But there are some people who genuinely will rush in there. They don't know the fucking person. They'll go in there, they'll marry that person for like 2 months. The sex is on point, everything's great. And then actually they realize, oh shit, this person is a bunny boiler, they're a psychopath. I need to get out of this marriage real quick. If you see them warning signs, you don't just say to yourself, oh, well, we're married now, so I will power through. No, you get the fuck out of that motherfucker. Like I said, 10 months, 10 years, 5 years, who gives a fuck? If you're not seeing progress, and that's ultimately in whatever you do in life, that should be the name of the game. Progress. Who can look at that Premier League table and tell me that progress has been made? And by the way, that's all Mikel Arteta. That's not Emre. No one can put that on Emre. That's all Mikel Arteta. The end game should always be progress, but the end game is actually winning. And let me ask you guys, let me leave you guys with one last thing. Are we any closer to winning? Anyway, I'm out of here before I get wound the fuck up. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You officially got my response. I'm going to have a little think about it, and then I might holler at Tom and see if we can do a show, because clearly I've got a lot more to say about this than I initially thought I did. So maybe a debate show might actually be a good idea. So yeah, I'll have a think about it and I'll get back to him and then I'll announce it. But for you members, keep a lookout for that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Road to 10K literally is on. I'm almost there, under 100 now. So let's get it going. Let's get that ticked off this week. And you guys are amazing. I know there's a lot of shows on literally right now. I'm going to try and claim my 7 o'clock spot back because that used to be mine. So I'm going to claim that shit back and try and do more shows around that time. I'll be doing my preview around 7 tomorrow. So if a show like that does happen, it'll probably be towards the kind of 9 o'clock mark. But like I say, let me have a think about it and I'll get back to you guys. All right. Enjoy yourselves. Take care. And peace.